Well, Trump is at it again, especially on his Twitter account, now calling for the end of a country with, of course, the cheers from the mainstream media, while, of course, others are still outraged about some stupid comments he made. But this is somehow tolerated. There's been a lot of tweet storms by Donald Trump. We're going to get into that, as well as the latest situation with Iran. But before we do that, we wanted to tell you about our good friend Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante, who just launched a new cryptocurrency-only newsletter. So if you're interested in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, learning how to trade or do all that other stuff, check out the newsletter. The link will be in the description below. But Jason, Trump has gone on the tweet storm, revealed a lot about Iran. There's a lot of strategy talk here. There's a lot of talk of Donald Trump doing this like he did with North Korea, doing this kind of strategy like he did with North Korea, specifically trying to intimidate them and scare them to come to the table to be able to negotiate a better deal. That is one of the talking points. But in reality, I would have to disagree with that, since the situation with North Korea and Iran is very different. But one of the things that Trump tweeted that piqued my interest was when he said, quote, "The fake news put out a typical false statement without any knowledge that the United States was trying to set up a negotiation with Iran. This is a false report." Going on, Iran will call us if and when they are ever ready. In the meantime, their economy continues to collapse. Very sad for the Iranian people. By the way, the economy in Iran mainly is not doing well because of economic sanctions, economic warfare that the United States is raging against Iran, even threatening Europe not to trade with Iran, pretty much closing Iran from the entire world. This is why gas prices also have gone up, because Iran is a major exporter of oil and gas. Since they're closed off on the world market, there's less oil, the price of it goes up. But the Iranians are responding, and they're saying, including the Iranian president coming out and saying, hey, today's situation is not really suitable for talks. And Jason, what do you expect when the previous tweet that Donald Trump sent out, literally, this is a tweet on May 19th, 1:25 p.m., he sent out saying, quote, literally, this is what he said: "If Iran wants to fight, that will be the official end of Iran. Never threaten the United States again." Apostrophe. How can we have diplomatic communications with such things going out there? And what do you make of this larger debate out there that this is tough negotiations by Donald Trump, Jason?
I'm sick of hearing that it's tough negotiations by Donald Trump. It's absolutely ridiculous that we can't sit down and have a conversation. And the Iranian president, by the way, is saying today's situation is not suitable for talks with the United States, especially while they're beating the drums of war, saying that Iran has quadrupled its uranium enrichment production capacity. Let me translate that for you. That doesn't mean that they've enriched 4 times the uranium that they have in the past. That means that apparently they have a facility that could have that production capacity. Think about the level of propaganda they're throwing out there. They're like, hey, look, their facility could produce 4 times as much uranium that we haven't proved they've produced in the past. But now they can produce even more uranium that we've told you they produced.
Yeah, and who's really saying this? Some nuclear official. Again, there's been so many officials and official narratives that have been just outright lies that need to be called out. And I don't believe that this is a tough negotiation strategy by Donald Trump. I don't believe that at all, mainly because of the Iran deal. Donald Trump got rid of the Iran deal that prevented Iran from building up weapons, from enriching uranium, from creating a worse geopolitical situation in exchange to the world market. That's what the Iran deal that Obama signed with Iran pretty much established. It established Iran being able to be in the world stage, sell their oil, and have no economic restrictions in exchange for Iran not building up their massive military and their massive weaponry. That was a pretty good deal. Donald Trump ended that. mainly because of also a lot of egging on by Israel. It's also in the best interest of Israel and Saudi Arabia, the two biggest allies for the United States, to go after Iran, mainly because of economic reasons, cultural reasons, the Sunni Shiite divide. So this is why I do not believe that this is a tough negotiation strategy at all, because one, it's not working. Two, he already ended a deal that was a pretty sweet deal that he tried to get with North Korea. He tried to get something like the Iran deal with North Korea. And that's still in negotiations, by the way. That's still in the process. Some people are optimistic, some people are not optimistic about that. But again, Jason, these are nuclear officials. I believe we need a lot of skepticism here more than ever, because we look at Iraq. Two wars, one based on baby incubator lies, never happened. Another one based on WMDs, never happened. Libya, massacre of all protesters, that was also a lie in many instances. Iran, Venezuela, so many narratives being pushed out there that we have to officially question, especially with Venezuela, that we've been exposing, even though I'm not a fan of Venezuela. And then this latest report that we did was also very important, Jason, just a couple of days ago, where we talked about how the chemical weapons attack in Douma, which justified Donald Trump bombing Syrian government forces, was also based on another lie after a leaked OPCW report came out and showed how they falsified the record, Jason. There's more to that story, though.
Yeah, talking about the OPCW report, all right? Now, they put out a report basically trying to blame Assad for the Douma chemical attack. And I put that in quotes because on the ground, people like Pearson Sharp and others, I believe Fisk was another one, Robert Fisk, found no evidence of a chemical attack. In fact, their video reporting, their interviews showed that it likely did not happen at all. And they were talking about helicopters dumping canisters in Douma full of chlorine chemical weapons. Well, turns out, Luke, that an internal investigation that recently leaked on the internet found it laughable. Said that those canisters had been placed there, that there was likely no chemical attack. And what did the OPCW do? Not only did they ignore it and cover it up, but when it leaked earlier last week, they set up an internal investigation not to find out why they didn't use the information and put it out into the public, but to find out who leaked the truth. Let me repeat that. All right? This organization that is supposed to be fighting the proliferation of chemical weapons absolutely 100% lied on behalf of the military-industrial complex and their propaganda machine. So what? So that U.S. forces, Israeli forces, Saudi Arabian forces would keep hammering on that region, baby. And that narrative doesn't go away. And I'm sick of it. Because you know what? This is not headlines in CNN, MSNBC, or Fox News. Your military-industrial complex cable liars.
Jason, I just went on DuckDuckGo and Google and I typed in Iran. The first thing that comes up, CNN. This is their headline here. Iran refuses Trump's offer to talk unless U.S. shows respect. Now, yes, the Iranians are very prideful, but look at the narrative. Look how they're trying to shape this entire dialogue. Very critical, important issue. Now, yes, we could be very critical of Iran. There's a lot of things to criticize them on. There's a lot of things to call them out on, sure. Does it justify the bombing and ending of an entire country? No. No, nothing should. And as we exposed to you, Google always recommends CNN more than any other news outlet. They are the official mouthpiece of the military-industrial complex. They take the Pentagon talking points and just literally regurgitate them back to the viewer with no respect, with absolutely no regard for the truth at all. And this is why we're different. This is why we're shadow banned. This is why we're downranked in the algorithm. This is why we're demonetized by Google. And CNN is prioritized. With that said, Jason, I got nothing else to say. Anything else you want to bring up on this topic? And do you want to end it here?
Yeah, I just want to remind people that when we are in these geopolitical conflicts that call for more bombings, more troops on the ground and more military action in the Middle East. We have to fight back tooth and nail with the truth. And like I said, most people in this country have no idea about that leaked OPCW report. They have no idea what's really going on in Syria, what's really going on in Yemen, and what's about to happen with Iran, which would be the largest disaster, in my opinion, of the last 5 to 10 years of overt, insane military conduct. Folks, we're doing 4 videos a day across 2 platforms, News for a Change and We Are Change. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications. You thumb this video up so maybe, just maybe, it gets suggested by the algorithm. But most importantly, you get out there yourself and you be the change you want to see in the world.